people are going to be better served by providing not just reports and things like that, because that's not really going to engage the user. We're talking about giving them, this is Information Builders, talking about information-driven applications. So we're not talking about providing them with the tools that these guys up here use so well and so effectively. We're talking about providing them with an application that gives them just what they need. Okay, we've got a term, a description, info app, and I'll come on to that in a moment. So yeah, so in fact it's there. So we're talking about tools there. There's loads of them about, but we're talking about not providing tools to this body of people here. So if you look at this, so we've got the percentages and what have you, and we've got the executives, and they're probably getting some nice executive dashboards and all the rest of it, and we do a bit of that as well. That's no problem. So that's fine, and departmental heads and what have you. Then we've got some of those power users that I referred to a moment ago, and they've got a nice interface that allows them to pull different data sources together, different files of data, sort of blend them together and get some interesting insight out of the system. Some people, in terms of their deployments, they might also, from their BI supplier, not all, but some of them might get some development tools so they can do a bit more. But sure as eggs is eggs, typically that's where it would stop. They do not. That's the underserved masses in the organisation that are not getting this contemporary, comfortable interface that allows them to engage and get the information that they want. And that's an example of where we see an information-driven application, an info app, really coming into its own. So it's been our mantra for many years, as you can guess here. But as far as we're concerned, everyone makes decisions. So everyone in the organisation should be getting access to this information. But you need to make sure that you don't just throw information at them. You've got to make sure that you engage them in some way. And the best way to describe our info apps approach is to say, is really to compare it with Microsoft tools versus the App Store, where you can, you know how people we're all using apps. We download an app that we want to use, and we don't then sign up for a training course, do we? We just get on and use it. Well, we're not suggesting you'll get our software via the App Store, although you can for mobile, but that's another thing. But what we're suggesting is that the user experience should be somewhat the same. So that's what we're aiming for with these info apps. So we've done this with a few. So I'm just going to rattle through 2 or 3 examples, for example. So one of our customers down at Portsmouth Naval Base. Now you can see a lot of different looking graphics here, but they're all based on exactly the same platform within our product base. But here, for example, it was a decision on the customer's part to say we want to have an interface that sort of mirrors a Windows 8 type of interface. That's fine, but that's just if you like, the window into so much else in terms of data that they can get. But this is made available to a whole mass of people who only have access to the ones that are coloured. If it's greyed out, you don't use it, essentially. That's how it's operating at the moment. But the beauty is you get engagement with people, and their people are able to make the decisions that they need to when they need to. And it's going on a stage further, because when we talk about big data, we're talking about picking up sensor data from things like water chilling units on board ships. So we're talking about the whole fleet for the Royal Navy here. It's interesting to know that they're designed to work in a certain way, but what happens when one of those frigates that was headed for the Scandinavian or the Baltic or something suddenly gets diverted and ends up in the Middle East or something? The water temperature, the air, the conditions are completely different. So people need to know what's likely to happen, and this is all part of this application that we've built for them. BGL's a company, a financial services company behind CompareTheMarket.com. The absolute driver here was that they needed to do something in order to secure their partner relationships. If they were going to preserve what they call their affinity partners, people they work with like Post Office, M&S, HSBC and what have you, through the white labelling of their products, they had to provide a much better service to them rather than their weekly or monthly reports that were just attached to an email. So what we've done with them is we've created a personalised portal that gives an application that each one of those affinity partners outside the company firewall can get access to. So here's an example of where you really need security, because the data's all held in one place, but we're extracting the data which is pertinent to, that's not one of the clients, but to the post office as opposed to M&S or whatever. But now you've got self-service for these partners where they can answer their own questions whenever they want. And actually, not only is that a delight for those partners, there's less burden internally for the BGL staff as well. Yellow Pages. This was providing an intuitive application to their customers so that their customers would know how their marketing campaigns were being affected. So this, once again, just to repeat, this is all on the same platform, our BI platform, but what we're doing is we're creating this application environment based on customer requirements and nature of data, etc., etc. This is probably one of the most sparkling of the stories when you see this, because what was happening was through the network of dealerships and what have you, they were seeing through normal reporting some widely differing behaviours in terms of warranty claims and repairs and stuff like that. Well, we constructed an application, an info app, which was rolled out to all their dealerships, and in this case actually they allowed the different dealers all to see everyone else's performance. So actually it put a little bit of peer pressure on them to perform better, because the way the KPIs were being measured would make it look bad if you were repetitively repairing or replacing rather than repairing, what have you. But as you can see, that's had a fantastic result, and that's, once again, that's not a BI tool. This is an application for warranty management. I think this is the last one I'm going to put up, and the reason I put this one up, eTrader, all you great shares holders and what have you all know about when you're trading, eTrader, one of the big names. But this is an example of an application that they have provided out to their clients, and this is just one of several in this particular space where people have used our platform to create an application, and they're using the application on their websites, on the internet, to be able to attract more customers, more clients to them. So you can see maybe 3 or 4, 5 different people other than eTrade with these applications running on the web right now. So it's just a few tasters of how the info app can look and the results it can deliver. I'm just about to wrap up. I see you getting a bit fidgety, Richard. I was just going to start to wrap up. So just I deliberately haven't gone into what we do really in terms of the platform or whatever. But the thing you need to be aware of is that if you're going to follow that idea, that mantra of everyone makes decisions, everyone needs this information, the more widely you're going to share this information, the more you need to be absolutely sure that the data is complete and full. So we've got the ability to connect up to any data source, be it structured or unstructured, social media. We have the ability to profile and cleanse and master the data to create golden records, to make sure that you're absolutely sure about the data that you're going to be sharing, not just to all your employees, but if you go outside the firewall to your customers and partners, to those as well, where it's perhaps even more important. So these are the areas where we think that data monetization and informations together can help, and the way is through what we call these info apps, both to your internal employees but also to people that you work with, your partners, suppliers, customers, etc. Just about done now. There's a few testimonials from some of our customers there. I know Richard wants us to have a little debrief sort of wrap up now, but if there are any questions after this, then that's where you can find me. I'm done.
The point you brought up at the end, and well done, is that you've got to be certain that your data is clean and properly ordered and things like that. Mm-hmm. By the time someone uses it and it isn't clean, it's too late.
especially if you're going outside the business. You know, if you know, otherwise it could fatally damage a relationship between you and a customer or supplier. Of course, yeah. I guess.
Observation.